Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Good morning, Carvey. Good morning, Debo.
He just go.
I wasn't. I wasn't. I was going to refer to
look
you.
At you and go.
I was going to refer to you by your job title,
Which is
field enslaved.
Wow. Yeah.
Getting
Wait,
these black
Michelle. Let me get this microphone situation straight.
See,
out.
getting these folks all stirred up and talking all this black stuff and getting people all mad. You know, they got it really good. And here you come.
I'm sorry.
Do you know there's a problem? Most of us, we didn't know there's a problem. Here's you come. Getting us all stirred up and
Yeah, he on the air. He's stupid. We'll like, is he on the air? Yeah, he on the air.
we doing okay here.
Yeah, he on the air.
Please don't call Will's name on the mic.
Oh, it's not that Will.
Oh, good.
But yeah, he on the air. He ain't got no damn home training.
Yeah.
He is ridiculous.
We just trying to get out here and make it. Here you come.
Is that right?
Does y'all want to be free?
You know what?
Those we's don't want to be
Call
free.
me Nat Turner, baby.
Does y'all
Call me
want
Nat
to be
Turner.
free?
Call me.
No, so we don't want to
Call
be free.
me Nat.
And her.
Call
no.
me Sojourner. Call
Matter
me
of fact,
Harriet.
let me put my blindfold on so I can say I didn't see you.
That's right.
Harriet's
Remember the line from the movie? Because I don't want to be. I don't want to be lying.
I don't be. I don't want to be telling.
I don't wanna be telling her.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see
No
it.
sub boss.
Oh, that's my favorite part of the movie.
And
man.
in such good sense.
Yeah. Well,
Such a teachable moment.
and that was before
Didn't
sodium
see.
pentothal.
All that.
Yeah.
It was such a teachable moment.
Yeah.
And I will not
eyes
be
didn't
lying.
lie.
That's right.
I ain't seen her.
But you know,
Now you didn't ask me if I talked to her.
Heard about her.
touched her, hugged her.
Gave a little buddy. No, you didn't ask me all that. You want to know that I see her? No, sir, I didn't see it.
Let me tell you, I am no longer cool with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Really?
As a result of
Django.
Django? Yeah.
and Harriet. Me and Leonardo, like I see him now in the movie, and my whole face get tight. Like we ain't cool no more. I can't
I
be
had
cool
to get
with
over
him.
Samuel Jackson's role. I had to get over that.
You know,
he plays Stephen.
Well, you know, but
But I had to get over that.
because I know, say like that's Shaft, man. Come on now, that's Shaft. You can't be.
All you color folk leave.
I mean,
You know this.
what is it, Jackie Brown? Come on now.
But you know what?
You know he was.
He is probably Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson is probably the most ubiquitous. Every movie you look to see, and you back in the day, you see Michael Caine.
Yeah.
And I go back and I see movies. That's Samuel L. Jackson. Did y'all know that Samuel L. Jackson was in Coming to America?
I remember. I think the first time I
read
paid him any
that,
attention.
but I don't remember where.
Yes, he was. Remember when
in
he
the
robbed?
McDonald's?
He robbed a McDowell's.
McDowell's.
He robbed a
But
McDowell's.
Okay, that's
wasn't
right.
he also in King of New York?
That was Larry Fishburne. I thought he could have
Larry,
been. I know
Fishburne. Young. You're right.
Larry
young
Fishburne.
Larry Fishburne.
He was in Goodfellas. Got killed in Goodfellas.
With a T? Okay.
Yeah.
He's been doing that lately. I don't know why. Killed people.
Jurassic Park. He got killed in Jurassic Park.
Killed.
Well, I'm just saying, but you know, it's Sam Jackson. You know Sam ain't crazy. But Leonardo, yeah, I'm not. Can't even look at him no more.
Now he did Titanic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean that whole, and then when you realize that was true, how they used to make, you know, black folks fight each other for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it was just so it just like so many of the movies I can't watch.
So what
I can't even watch.
What would be Samuel L. Jackson's most iconic role? You said Shaft.
But I don't know that that's iconic.
For me, when he would go dance for his mother.
When he's Gator?
Yeah, Jungle Fever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jungle Fever put him on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Jungle Fever for sure put him on the map. And then that's what, remember when we was talking about Holly Berry can't be ugly, how she looked in Jungle Fever.
She was a mess in that.
She was tore from the flow up in Jungle Fever. But yeah, Jungle Fever put him on the map. What was Samuel Jackson in Do the Right Thing?
He was the DJ.
Well,
was he?
He was the DJ.
I remember that.
Yes. Yeah, he was the DJ.
Now that you mention it, I kind of see it.
Yeah, I mean,
but...
Samuel, I'm always looking at movies to see. That's Sam Jackson.
Well, you know, I told you I've been tripping off Sam ever since I saw a picture of him in the background with Dr. King. I was like,
Yeah, because
what is Samuel
he
Jackson
was at Morehouse.
doing a picture? Yeah, and then that's made me ask my iconic now question. How old is Samuel L. Jackson? It's like 74, 75 years
He
old.
was at
Some mess.
Morehouse with Dr. Butts. They were classmates. Calvin Butts. They were classmates. As a matter of fact, his wife spoke at the funeral.
Oh,
because
really?
she was very, I think because his wife and her, they were at Spelman together.
Richardson.
Yeah.
Whatever her name.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so, yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, I'm trying to Coach Carter.
But I just will say that I had an opportunity to dance with Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
George Tillman, who did Soul Food.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the premiere. And so when I got to the premiere, when I sat down, it was in Chicago. When I sat down, I didn't pay attention to who was sitting next to me. I just sat down. And I was sitting next to Samuel L. Jackson. And so the movie hadn't started, everybody just getting seated talking. And I turned over because I had just saw the Great White Hype?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, The Great White Hype. And so I had just seen it. So when I turned around, I looked at Samuel L. Jackson. I was like, oh, I've been looking for you.
Pulp Fiction.
And he said, what?
Pulp Fiction was another one.
I said, you was an embarrassment in The Great White Hype. He was like, what? I said, you cannot dance, Negro. It was an embarrassment. And I just want you to know, he was so mad. And so when we went to the after party, as soon as I walked in, a hand grabs my hand and leads me to the dance floor. Oh no, I'm gonna show you I could dance. And it was Samuel L. Jackson. So that's my Sam Jackson story.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah.
This is a journalistic question.
Well, when a journalist appears, I'd be happy to answer. What do you want? Did you get that sharp knife? Did it cut? Is the blood like on the floor?
And I already used the word.
You got one more.
Is there anybody you haven't pissed off?
He wanted to dance with me.
Yeah, but you said initially he was pissed off.
In a playful kind of way. Stop being so but he knew it just cracked him up that first of all somebody said that to him. I was like, you was an embarrassment. You could not dance. Did you see him dance in that movie? It was outrageous.
John Travolta was trying to dance in that movie, so don't get me started on that.
John Travolta can dance though.
No, he can't. They had to teach him.
Samuel L. Jackson danced like Barack Obama danced because Barack Obama can't dance.
It was a Saturday Night Fever.
Oh yeah,
and Grease too. No,
but that was like a lot of stuff though.
What do you mean?
In Saturday Night Fever, that was all like
you can't teach all.
You got to lift folks up and put them between your legs. That's like you don't just come up knowing how to do that.
I was watching a video last night. Speaking of disco, and it was Sylvester. I don't know where Sylvester was performing. Him and 2 Tons of Fun. Oh my God,
good show. Good
man. Back in the day when Sylvester, when I was going to college out east, when Sylvester would come to town, he'd sell out.
That's
that's
that disco era though.
Yeah, he'd sell out.
But what was some songs?
You make me feel
mighty
real. Yeah. And then I've been looking around and you were here all the time. Yeah. Sylvester was.
I knew he was high.
He was a member of Walter Hawkins' church. And Walter Hawkins caught heat because they buried him in drag.
They buried
Sylvester in drag.
He was a drag queen.
Yeah. And so, there was a lot of, Walter Hawkins was an inviting church. I mean,
how are you going to get mad at me because of how I choose to be buried? Like,
people
just be doing the most, man.
Peoples.
Leave folks alone. Mind your business. I'm getting ready to be in the ground.
Clearly,
what you got to say?
Clearly, one could learn from that situation.
And speaking of waiting on the joke of the day, this whole joke of the day, now Rhonda's coming up with jokes.
Oh, did she have one?
She had one.
Did she share it with you?
Because I heard the one yesterday. About the radio host and somebody dying.
No, you on the show next week.
I'm gonna go to you're gonna burn up if you go to the sun. I'm going at night.
Well, what was Rhonda's joke?
I don't even remember it.
Was that good?
I don't even remember it.
You don't want to tell it.
We're coming up on that time of year where we do Call of the Year. I'm thinking,
is that after the first of the year or before?
No, we usually do it before.
The call of the year?
The caller of the
Remember
year.
he does that? Yeah. So
'Cause
he'll be
who
talking
won it
about like
last
all of
year?
our callers to
Christopher.
the show.
I think
Christopher got
Christopher won last
What
year.
did he win?
Nothing, but I think I'm actually going to
it.
the honor of knowing that you're the caller of the year.
Yeah, Christopher. Because I mean, it was voters. People had to vote for
People voted. Yeah.
it. Yeah,
I'm
listeners
going to
voted.
tell you already who's going to win.
Well, we don't know.
Because them
that.
same names was in contention last year. Meech, Al,
Meech,
Christopher,
George.
Yeah.
Al's going to win it hands down this year.
Yeah.
That one line he used about smelling like
I-
sardines and bleach or something to say.
I'm
Tuna
telling
fish
you,
and bleach or
it's
something.
church folks be waiting on Al to come
Yeah,
on here.
yeah.
If one more church lady I know be like, woo, child, Al is too much. Are you listening to Al? Wait on him. Wait on him.
Was
Wait
Al
on him.
who used to call you with this update on this black soap opera? Was that Al?
No, that wasn't Al. That was Eddie.
And there was another Al that used to call when Eric was here, because I could always time that Al. He would call at 7:45. And I knew that because I was always pulling in the parking lot at work.
What was the guy who had the, I can't remember his name, and for years he followed from 1290 all the way to here, and he would always call with his wake-up service. You remember that, Michelle?
Oh, I remember. Oh, I can't think of his name.
Yeah,
But yes, he had a
was
wake-up service. Almost said it. Dang it. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
I'm gonna nominate him this year is
Who?
The Reverend Brother, who would call in talking about gambling.
The Reverend Brother.
Yeah, he's
Who is
a
that?
preacher. I don't know who he is, but he would call in and we had this whole thing because he'd be talking about sin, but then he'd go gamble.
Oh, is gambling a sin?
No, how do you nominate him if you don't know who he is?
A lot of
Oh,
these-
Dr. Ward could be nominated too.
Dr. Ward. Yeah, I never thought about Dr.
Yeah.
Ward.
The
Reverend.
The Reverend
Dr. Ward.
Have a good one. And let me make my point.
So yeah, we'll do that. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do. I'll go in my pocket. And
I think Kathy should be nominated.
Oh, I forgot about Kathy.
Kathy, you got to whisper.
This is Kathy calling.
This is Kathy calling.
Down at the courthouse.
And let me put let me put DC in.
Who?
Denise Crumble, DC.
Oh, true.
She just called and cussed all over the radio.
Oh yeah, I was just. But Michelle had, ma'am.
She didn't say that.
Ma'am.
She said on the first 2 times she cussed though.
I only heard it one time. I only heard the BS one. I ain't hear nothing before.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
She just, called it too fur. It felt like two. But
Sometimes though you want to. Sometimes.
Well, I just need to get the list of 10 words you can't say on the radio. I just need to get that list. If you could provide that to me.
Over.
No, because you're gonna dance all around that list.
Over terrestrial. Now, if you're satellite, I think you got a little bit more leeway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I mean Joe Madison.
Oh well, I mean, yeah. I'm
Joe
just saying.
Madison
Yeah, but terrestrial.
I don't know
as
if
you
we
put
can
it.
be considered anything.
He did a
because,
scholarship fund.
Like,
excuse me, because had to put that.
because on
money-
satellite radio, I was listening to NOV on satellite radio. Because I sent you the picture, and our little logo comes up and everything.
Yep.
So does that count? So I do need a list of the words we can't say on the radio.
Yeah, so we'll do caller of the year.
What they gonna get? You gonna decide?
I think I'll do a gift certificate. Do a nice one. And then
I like that.
obviously, I always.
What's the lady that called me in the morning? She always say, and one more thing, and another thing.
And another thing, she was nominated.
Yeah, huh?
She was nominated.
Yeah, she was nominated last
Miss
year.
Richards.
Miss
Yeah,
Richards.
she was
Yeah.
nominated.
I like the older lady that calls.
She hasn't called
me
in a
too.
while.
I know. So,
What
And
about?
another thing.
Miss
While
Annette
I got
call.
you, she kind of fell
Sorry-
off right behind the
Sorry,
election.
Craig won't, because Craig is now like a.
Yeah, I heard he comes in on Fridays or
Coming
something,
first
right?
Fridays, yeah, first
Yeah.
Fridays. So
So he's like a panelist now.
he is
so
a panelist now.
so-
So we do that, and then
So you're saying he's disqualified because he?
yeah, I mean, because he's part of the team.
Okay.
Mm.
Speaking of,
Is that Mr. Stingley?
On cue.
I'm still waiting on the joke. So you're out there, man. He must be still in the lab working on it. Caller, welcome to the program.
Shalom, family.
Hey, what up, peace, man?
Hey,
Craig.
I'm still waiting for Christopher to have his his spot on the show for being the caller of the year.
Was he supposed to get that?
Come on, Keith.
Oh, you making suggestions?
No, I'm saying that's what
What's very
that's what you
interesting.
offered.
Wait, he said that's what you offered.
Oh, did I?
Oh, you forgot? Let's
Oh
run the
my
tape.
God.
Run the tape. Run the tape.
What was he supposed to get, Craig?
Stingley, it
Yes, sir.
sounds like you were the benefactor here.
No. I recall the first time he did, which was last year, right?
Yep.
You said whoever was the caller of the year was going to be able to come on the show and, have a time to talk in probably about an hour or so. So, still waiting.
So Stingley, again, I'm asking you.
Yes, sir.
At the time that he made this declaration, right?
Oh,
Were you a part of the show at that point in time?
Who?
I
Stingley,
was still coming on Fridays, yeah.
so you were coming on Fridays when this declaration was made by Keith.
Yeah, once a month on Friday. That's correct.
Okay, just wanted to be certain that you weren't the reason that.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this about Christopher. When I just tried to do Wednesday's word,
Keep it crazy. I'm sorry.
when I tried
Keep
to
us
do
in your
Wednesday's
post.
word,
No. We ain't finna get no excuses.
well, hold on, wait a minute.
man.
When I did Wednesday's word, I reached out to Christopher, asking him did he want to come on Wednesdays to be part of Wednesday's word. So
Yeah, I recall that too.
Yeah,
You did
so-
do that.
And what'd he say? No.
he didn't say nothing.
He didn't call you back?
That's a no in my mind.
Ah,
Well, I'm inviting Al along.
you know,
for sure.
the whole the city voted.
The city did vote.
It
You are
didn't.
so
It didn't
right.
sound like city.
City as we know it.
Oh, it was the city.
The whole city.
It was the city.
So I'll do. Yeah, we'll definitely
But
do that.
Al was one of the nominees. Christopher, I think I was on there. George was on there.
George, yep.
Leach was on there.
Meech, yep.
We got to
But
get more
Christopher
women.
won.
Well, because we don't. Well, you had Kathy
Yeah, Kathy, Miss Richardson,
and
Miss Annette calls.
Miss Annette. Who was
Denise.
So Christopher, brother, this is a
because she ain't
clarion
called
call out to you.
since the boy didn't die.
Who?
Dorothy.
Oh, she's called once or twice since
Has she?
Bianca.
Okay.
She called on Saturdays all the time.
Yeah,
Oh, does she?
called.
Mhm.
Okay.
She's a member of Christ the King Missionary Baptist Church out there.
She had Christ the King.
Vicar. Reverend Nick Vicar, my pastor.
I just thought I'd
You know,
call and remind you about that. That's all.
I'm
Yeah,
so glad you did.
I appreciate you doing that, man. Thank you.
Reneging.
Hey, Miss Dorothy.
Oh, and the joke you told, I think, what was it? Streetcar said it was a Chinese man who said we were the first ones to go to the moon,
Right.
and the white guy said we were the first ones to go to Mars,
Right.
and then the African said, well, I'm gonna be the first one to go to the sun. Then they said, well, you can't do that. You'll burn up. He said, well, I'm gonna go at night or something to that effect.
That's
So,
correct. That is the joke.
Yeah.
So what made you need to tell that again, Craig?
Oh no, I don't think he.
I did the
Craig,
last
don't
line.
answer Debo. He tried to be funny. Don't answer. Y'all be killing me answering this dude.
Hey, Craig, you gonna know when you too long. Hey, Craig, don't you need to get somewhere?
Yeah, I already said it yesterday. I'm like, oh,
You got work to
you
do.
got a
You got work
job?
to do.
Who was he
I
telling
wanna
that
talk
to?
about this
Arizona?
DEI.
Yeah.
And
Arizona
was
said
the
I
other-
take PTO for this.
What'd you say, Stingley?
No. We got this other critical race theory and DEI. And how these folks are threatened by these initiatives. This is something. Again, yesterday on what is the name of his show? The Difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's different.
With Will.
Yeah, it's different. Because it was really disturbing to hear them talk about the fact that we don't need to have these initiatives put in place when the reality is white folks have their gatekeepers in place to make sure that they have, only first access to all the opportunities. This is what y'all were talking about during your show, Michelle.
Yeah.
With the county, of city, county, state gatekeepers making sure that you don't get but a certain number of black folks in these jobs.
Well, I think the other piece of it is what you put up with. There were a lot of, and Barrett was one of them, secretly very happy about Act 10. because, and what Denise just described in terms of, look, I'll just say it, down at the city of Milwaukee, one of the more notorious unions down there was the nurses union, right? They made Bevan's life miserable. And when Act 10 happened, that shut down a lot of that. So I don't know what it's going to look like going forward. I know that I was a manager. I spent a lot of time dealing with unions and with the union. And so on one level, you're going, and then let me just full transparency. I was in Madison protesting Act 10. But when you look at the practical application of it, you know, it was a very different animal, because if you were ever a manager in government bureaucracy, you know that a lot of times the pain in your butt was the union. All right, you listen
I don't care what profession you're in or, what industry you're in. You got these people who are gatekeepers who will sabotage your career because they don't want to see you in that position. Right. And they will collectively come together to do it.
Yep.
And that's what that sister was talking about at the health department or at the housing authority, and on and on and on and on and on throughout government and throughout private industry as well.
Yep. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Peace.
All right. You're listening to Community Voice. When we get back, we'll be inside Be Healthy, Be You. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Looking for a career path with a great salary plus healthcare and retirement benefits? The Milwaukee County Transit System is hiring. Join us Wednesday, December 11th from 2 until 6 p.m. at our administration office on 17th Street for a career.
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Zeladon. I'm with the Milwaukee County Office of Equity, and I'm here today at 860 AM WNOV.
So, Jackie, how do you show appreciation to your loved ones during the holidays?
Oh, the holidays. I show appreciation all the time, but during the holidays, I like to give them that extra love. And that extra love takes the form of, inviting family over for game night. Mm-hmm. It's giving people phone calls, especially people who I haven't spoken to for in a minute. Mm-hmm. Shame on me. Mm-hmm. It's also sending greeting cards. Mm-hmm. It's even doing small gestures, mm-hmm. such as cookies, mm-hmm. or even taking somebody to the movie. So those are some of the ways I show extra gratitude during the holidays.
That's perfect.
Hello, my name is Derek Rogers from the Exodus Academy and the Milwaukee Black Liberation Theology Project.
So, Mr. Rogers, what's one way you've learned to love yourself more in 2024?
Definitely with the help of my wife, paying more attention to my diet.
How y'all doing? I'm Nisha with Wisconsin Voices and Black Men Build.
So, how do you show appreciation to your loved ones during the holiday season?
I show appreciation to my loved ones during the holiday season, especially to my mom by giving her gifts. My mom, she took care of me great while I was growing up, so I just try to give back to her whatever she needs. So I just ask her what she want. If she don't really know what she want, I still get her something. It might be money, it might be some jewelry, but I make sure I just give back and make sure that she, that she good. Whatever she needs, she took care of.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Dr. Bridget Moss. I am a board-certified family practice and integrative medicine specialist. I'm standing here at WNOV.
So, Dr. Bridget, how does gratitude play a role in your holiday celebrations?
Gratitude plays a huge role in my holiday celebrations because you know what? Without God, I would not be here. So that is what I'm most grateful for, and everything else will follow.
Perfect.
Hey, this is Dr. Kwaku Amawasi here at WNOV 860 AM representing Nayumba Upendo.
Inside Be Healthy, Be You, Miss Julia Meads, Miss Brenda Buchanan in Central Wisconsin. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. I swear it seems brighter in here today than normal.
Oh, yeah.
See, thank you. Uh-huh.
No, there's no new
Maybe
lights.
they just got the lights up a
No,
little
I think
higher.
because normally we're getting that natural sunlight.
Oh, so now because it's dark out
You
there.
got kind of got a
better, ladies?
No, it was fine. I was okay
This
with
is
it. I
what I
just
do
it was different.
to put you in the mood.
Yeah. Bright light don't be putting nobody in the mood.
Speaking of lights,
Holiday lights.
Holiday lights.
I love them. But I got my eyes checked yesterday. That's one of my first doctor's appointments that I got good news.
Oh, good.
That you got good news.
You can see.
You can see, girl. You can see.
I need my dollar glasses, my dollar readers, but I can see. And so they did the new thing that they do to measure the pressure in your eye, and
That's not the puff, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the tests they can do, and they go. She looks at me and she goes, "Oh, you're at that golden age." I'm like, "I think it's past golden, but yeah." She said, "Your vision is great."
Awesome.
And and I didn't have cataracts and all that stuff, so cataracts removed, and I just need glasses to read.
I just need glasses to see.
It's funny
Other than
because
that, my eyesight is great.
Because some of my friends now are at that age where they need glasses to drive because they're farsighted.
Mhm.
So but they refuse to wear them. It's like this vanity thing. They're like, I've worn glasses since I was young. I can wear
Well, you be
contacts.
styling them,
Well,
more,
Well, I figure I always say if I gotta wear them, they're gonna look good. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not wearing no ugly glasses.
Y'all want to hear Keith was so po story?
Uh-huh.
Keith was so po. I lost glasses. My mother never replaced them. So I go through life virtually blind. And I couldn't figure, man, I'd be out on the expressway and I'm driving past signs and the whole thing. So finally, I had started having these blinding headaches. I'm a big adult, man. I go, okay. I go in and the woman goes, I don't even know how you were able to drive.
How you got
probably
there?
shouldn't have been driving.
I shouldn't have been, man. So, and I didn't grow up wearing glasses because I lost my pair.
And she probably figured you're doing okay. You remember when Sears?
A Bible dog.
Sears. Everybody went to Sears.
That's
to
right.
get glasses.
Sears Optical. That's
The whole family would come out with
Sears
glasses.
Optical.
Yeah,
Sears, that
and
was-
if you were on state insurance, there was only a couple frames to choose
Right,
from,
right.
and they weren't pretty.
Right? Oh my God. See that's Pope.
That's Paul.
That's really Pope.
But I'd say that because you should get your eyes checked.
Oh yeah.
And because I am a diabetic, they always look in the back to see if you have those extra blood vessels growing in the back. If not, if you do, then they zap them, and it helps them to see better. And so they ask if you have floaters. I saw somebody doing, waving. I'm like, what's the matter?
So where do floaters come from?
Different things. They can be a sign of a detached retina or one about to detach. There's no, and as we age, there's like this little fluid area behind our eyes that can rupture. It's not uncommon; it's fairly common, and then you'll get a floater for that. And that should heal itself. The floater doesn't go away, but the back of the eye, that part should heal itself. But then you are at greater risk for retinal detachment. But any floater should be evaluated to make sure it's not something serious, because a retinal detachment is really serious. Flashes of light, you need to see the doctor immediately if you start to see flashes of light.
I didn't realize that it was a thing in terms of people eye sensitivity
Ooh,
Bless you.
bless you.
We were talking about seizures and how strobe lights
Yeah,
or
strobe lights.
can set off seizures.
My sister has the phone flashing, and I'm like, would you turn that off? Her granddaughter has seizures. I'm like, you need to. And it's always just flash, flash, flash.
When she get a call or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But our eyes are so important, and those
God,
that's an understatement.
Keith be trying to drive without them.
He did for years, and never got in a car accident, which was really amazing.
That's scary.
Look at Grace.
How they say, bug God.
Bug God, yeah.
Driving on today's street, you would.
Yeah, whether you can see or not.
Right.
Whether
That's
you
for sure.
see or
if
not,
you couldn't
man.
see, you most definitely would.
Oh my God, it's I guess these traffic rules are just advisory for some
right.
folks.
Mm-hmm.
As some of them, I don't know. I'm like, what were they thinking? You know,
they weren't.
Oh, okay.
They weren't.
They like the thrill of it too.
How often should we go in? I just took Mom in for her eye exam. So how often should we get our eyes checked? Every year?
Every year.
If you wear glasses?
Still every year.
Every year.
And what people don't realize that if you're diabetic, your insurance will pay for it, whether they cover eyes or not. Some insurances like don't cover optical or dental, but because you're diabetic,
Your medical insurance.
Your medical insurance will cover your eye exam.
Okay. Got a question from Carmen.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to speak up.
And so, what if 18-year-old, fresh out of high school, no job, he's looking to get insurance? Where do he go?
Oh, good question.
He has no job.
No job, but what if he has a job and his job doesn't provide the credentials for insurance?
It depends on how much he make. He might be eligible for state insurance.
And if not, then you would go to the marketplace. And that is open right now until January 15th, maybe. Have to look at it. But you go on there, and with there, you do put in your income to see if you're eligible for subsidies and things like that. And it'll give you the different types of insurance available. And that's how and then you choose.
I think it's good that an 18-year-old was looking for insurance.
Absolutely. Because it can, we think we're invincible when we're young. And a lot of young people go without a health insurance purposely because they're like, nothing's going to happen to me. But like we're just talking about the driving nowadays, one accident, that could be cost you anywhere from, $25,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on your injuries.
And if his parents cover him under their insurance?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Because you can stay on your parents'
You
health
can stay on your
insurance
parents' insurance till you're 26 nowadays, which is.
Yeah, she would probably, but if she already had you on there, it's just a family plan.
Right. And then, if it would be better for you to cover the extra cost of that than trying to buy something.
Right.
Yes. Help the parent out by saying, I got a job now. I'll put something on it. But I thought that's Obamacare. That was awesome that your children can stay on your health insurance until they're 26, because it takes a while to get up and going to get a sustainable job that has insurance.
And I know this is, you guys do healthcare, but it's, if you can, we're seeing this. And I know people have priorities, but life insurance for your kids.
Most definitely.
It is.
It's cheaper then.
Yeah. And we see so many GoFunds out here because we act as if young people don't die. And young people die in every day, and a lot of them, not all of them, have never died before. So
that's probably true, Keith. Probably true. Because more and more people
are
that's
dying
true,
than
Keith. Never did before. Those people that never died are dying now.
Yeah. I'm of this thing now.
Okay.
Somebody.
You don't know who started that, do you? Well, I won't say.
Yeah, but no, I think it the idea of health insurance, and look, anything can can happen to you. You know, like Carby's, he's in the risk pool now of testicular cancer, right? Because that's something that impacts young men, between 18 and 30. Yeah.
That's how young men usually look at you when you talk to them about that. And I used to teach that in the schools and tell them they need to do their own physical examination. And I used to get that kind of look.
What? Look, he still got the look on his face. Yeah.
He's like, I'm not talking to you about that, Julia.
But it's real. It's real. And I worked with a woman whose son had it. And so I was real. He was like 19.
Yeah, but that's usually 18 to 30. I don't know if you grow out of it, it becomes less frequent after 30.
Is it something like that, like catch, or what is it?
No, it's cancer.
It's a cancer.
It's cancer.
Abnormal growth of cells, probably hormonal. During that time,
all that weed you guys are smoking, it's the marijuana, man. You guys out there smoking that dope.
But testicular cancer is real, and it is something that you need to check for, and it's another family history type thing that you need to ask.
Well, we're seeing really early onset of certain diseases that were, you think it would be later. There's a young lady I know, she has to be, Caitlin's 26, 27. And she had just a virulent case of breast cancer.
Oh, yeah.
It
Definitely
was,
seeing more
it was
and more of that.
bad. It was like, wow. She's like 26.
Yeah.
So, we there are things, obviously, when we look at, this is more typical based on the age range, but we also know that, again, we're seeing a more early onset of diabetes, right?
It is.
So there's a lot that's happening, and it's really, and I don't know if that's the balance. I remember a few years back, I was researching a presentation I was going to do, and I just out of curiosity said, let me just check the birth records. And one of the interesting things I discovered in county birth records, and I think COVID kind of set that off, was that if you had 15,000 people die, 15,000 people were born. Which was really, and you could see there was a statistical consistency with that. Now, COVID kind of threw that off. Obviously, more people died, but that's an aberration. But when you look at that, because even in America right now, we're at zero population growth. Okay, and there's a fear that we're going to be going into negative population growth. What does that mean? That means that we're going to be dealing with issues like they're dealing with in Germany now, because in Europe, the population of indigenous Europeans is dropping. So you need to bring people in to work, right? Because they just don't have enough people in the economy. So even when we're having this discussion around so-called illegals in the country, the overwhelming majority of those folks are working, and they're working in industries that most Americans don't want to work in. Right. So, when you just look at it from a governance kind of what society looks like, all these trends become important. What's happening with our health, right? Then we just found out how connected we are in terms of a species with COVID, because just about every human being was exposed at some level to COVID. So I think having those conversations around it, and certainly as we do, and I appreciate you all, we talk about from a public health perspective, the impact it has. So you might have something like diabetes, and you would say, well, it's not like Julia can catch it from me, but it is having impact on health insurance and the cost of health care. So all those things, that's why health insurance companies are being more proactive in terms of, let's go in and see if we can identify this early and mitigate it early, as opposed to on the back end of it having to spend so much money trying to treat a situation.
Some health insurances, even we hear about them like ours. If you smoke, you pay a higher premium. But also now some use BMI, which I really hate, because that's not good for, it doesn't really work for everybody, but they're using BMI to help determine what the cost of their insurance is going to be. And and that's all kind of scary, because you can have a person with more weight that's very healthy.
Well, and one of the concepts behind insurance is minimize risk,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you would see that in like auto insurance, what the risk is, and then what the actuary is. That's why your insurance rates are based on your age, but there's all these numbers they put in. Here's this big word, algorithm, right? You put it in and then you factor in. So Carvey at 19 is going to pay a higher auto insurance because 19-year-olds are more apt to tear up their cars than a 29-year-old. Not to say 29-year-olds don't tear up cars, but not at the frequency of a 19-year-old. So all those things factor in. It's the same thing with health insurance. That's why when you mentioned the Affordable Care Act, things like portability. Well, what's portability? Portability says that I was on a health insurance plan. I get a new job. I have a new health insurance plan. They can't deny me for pre-existing conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of people don't even realize the industry I worked in is predominantly female, right? And so one of the big issues that we had, our number one health issue was pregnancy and what pregnancy, what it meant. And so there were women who started with the county, they were pregnant, they had to go on Healthy Start because they weren't eligible. The county insurance wouldn't pay for their pregnancy.
Because it was a pre-existing condition.
Right.
And that's the kind of stuff that scares me the most, is that if we ever have to go back to that, the pre-existing clause, especially people with chronic illnesses, that can be devastating.
Yeah. But I think America benefits from a healthy society.
Oh, of course we do.
And I think some people miss that. And then I think the other thing is that when we have these conversations, as much as they are fact-based and science-based, and I know for a lot of people, your eyes just glaze over. Oh, what you don't know can kill you. What you believe can kill you, right? So this, you go in, and I dread every time I have to go in for a wellness check. But think about it. I'm going in for a wellness check. I'm not going in because we have to figure out how to deal with your chronic illness. And now it's just gotten out of control where, the treatment is going to be very radical.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx. They said he did a stand-up. Show.
It came out at midnight last night.
And they talking about it already being an award-winning performance, but he had a vessel burst in his brain, and it was bleeding. And a lot of people don't come back from that.
Yeah, I had an aneurysm.
Oh, you did?
You have one. Yeah.
I have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they monitor it to make sure it's not going to grow.
Right.
Or it hasn't grown.
And that's it. Most aneurysms
are there.
Yeah.
And people never know it, but nothing ever happens. But when it does happen, it can be, years ago, you just didn't survive, period.
Right.
Now with better treatment, but still, as you
Quincy
can see
Jones
with him,
had a
long
bad
recovery.
Aneurysm. It was to the point, he said he felt like a bomb had exploded, and they had to really go in. You can see the scar see the scar where they've gone in, and they had to do. So we don't think about these things in terms of.
He lived a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and we think about aneurysms, we always think about the brain because that's where we hear about them the most. But we also have them in other parts of our body,
lungs, right?
And in our aorta, which can be, if that goes, that's
your big branch.
That's just really. I had one patient that survived that, but he was paralyzed from the waist down, from it. Yes, it was bad.
Well, I think, we have to be mindful of the warning signs. And I know the fear is going in, they're going to find out I have something. Yeah, good.
Well, yeah, because you have something.
Right. And they can fix it. Most likely, they can fix it. If not, they can make it better.
Well, look at Nikki Giovanni, how long she lived after being diagnosed with lung cancer. She had lung cancer. I think it was diagnosed in the 90s, and several bouts of that. But as you said, we have treatment now. But sometimes the treatment feels like the cure is worse than the disease in terms of what the side effects are.
You have to want to fight.
Excuse me.
Every day you have to fight. Staying alive is
My
important.
life.
Well, and everybody has a different motivation. So, like, I think of, a woman with young children may do anything to fight, no matter how uncomfortable, because she wants to be there with her children. Somebody who, when we talk about spiritual bankruptcy, or people who are depressed or have, they don't want to fight because they don't see any benefit in it. They're just like, I'm here, I have nothing, I don't care. And so when we talk about that all the time, that people need a reason to fight.
Well,
Most
hope.
people.
Let's not underestimate the importance of hope.
And some people don't have hope.
Right.
That's
Well, I was speaking to someone and they were trying to, again, make sense out of the election. How could certain people vote for him where it just seems like I said, because for some people, false hope is better than no hope.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes this thing when I get up every day. Hope gets you up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. I mean, you can, and here's the thing I appreciate. Sometimes I go out and it's like cold. And I go, man, I appreciate the cold. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I can experience it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's another indicator that I'm living.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, and as because I told someone, now, who's talking about going to heaven? Old folks or young folks? Old folks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Young folks, heaven, man, shit, I'm still living.
Right.
And I think that just live your life, man. Just life. You can enjoy life. Who told you couldn't enjoy life?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's also a mentality and how your mindset impacts your health.
Mm-hmm.
If you're depressed, if you're sitting there dealing with all kinds of issues, it begins to impact your health.
Mm-hmm. It really does.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
These emotions that we will kind of dismiss, like grieving.
Mm-hmm.
Grieving has impact on our physical ecosystem, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so being able to do it every day that you look up, one of the things that I say in church is that you should feel better, a little bit better when you left than you did when you walked in.
Mm-hmm.
That there is hope. But and then I think the other thing, isn't it human nature just to want to survive?
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about fighting, how much of that is?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think people they underestimate their will to survive until they're pushed up against the wall and they see that
Right.
I might not survive, or this is dangerous. Then, you hear so many people that have had traumatic experience talk about how they look at life just so differently now than they did beforehand. It was just kind of, whatever, do this, do that. But once pressed up against the wall, their will to fight, it's strong. Like, I don't want to die. I want to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. But there's some people like, it ain't worth it. And I'm ready to just to throw in the towel. But
especially around this time
this
of
year.
The year, people get more depressed around the holidays, and they need to know where they can go and get services. And we have numbers. Some people, African Americans are starting to commit suicide. We didn't used to do that.
Oh, we were doing it.
We were?
Hell yeah, we were doing it.
Kept it quiet.
Yeah, we don't be talking about stuff. Man, we found Keith. Yeah, he died. Man, I can't talk about that, man. Yeah, but well,
in this house, stay in this house.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
we
right.
act as if certain things we were exempt from. This gets a little controversial. Incest. That was going on. It ain't new.
Lord.
It ain't new. I mean, but we got this thing about our business and how we don't want our business out in the streets, right? As dysfunctional as our house could be sometimes, we tried to keep it in the house. We didn't want it because some people, it got on the porch.
Yeah, right.
We're going to go like those Negroes over there. You're listening to Community Voice. We're inside Be Healthy, Be You. Miss Julia Means, Miss Brenda Buchanan. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
WNOV.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Zeladon. I'm with the Milwaukee County Office of Equity, and I'm here today at 8:60 a.m. WNOV.
So, Jackie, how do you show appreciation to your loved ones during the holidays?
The holidays. I show appreciation all the time, but during the holidays, I like to give them that extra love. And that extra love takes the form of, inviting family over for game night.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving people phone calls, especially people who I haven't spoken to for in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on me. It's also sending greeting cards.
Mm-hmm.
It's even doing small gestures such as cookies or even taking somebody to the movie. So those are some of the ways I show extra gratitude during the holidays.
That's perfect.
Hello, my name is Derek Rogers from the Exodus Academy and the Milwaukee Black Liberation Theology Project.
So, Mr. Rogers, what's one way you've learned to love yourself more in 2024?
Definitely with the help of my wife, paying more attention to my diet.
How y'all doing? I'm Nisha with Wisconsin Voices and Black Men Build.
So, how do you show appreciation to your loved ones during the holiday season?
I show appreciation to my loved ones during the holiday season, especially to my mom by giving her gifts. My mom, she took care of me great while I was growing up, so I just try to give back to her whatever she needs. So I just ask her what she want. If she don't really know what she want, I still get her something. It might be money, it might be some jewelry, but I make sure I just give back and make sure that she, that she good. Whatever she needs, she took care of.
Thanks, appreciate you.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Dr. Bridget Moss. I am a board-certified family practice and integrative medicine specialist. I'm standing here at WNOV.
So, Dr. Bridget, how does gratitude play a role in your holiday celebrations?
Gratitude plays a huge role in my holiday celebrations because you know what? Without God, I would not be here. So that is what I'm most grateful for, and everything else will follow.
Perfect.
Hey, this is Dr. Kwaku Amawasi here at WNOV 860 AM representing the Yumba Upendo Show.
So, Dr. Kwaku, what's your favorite holiday tradition that you're thankful for?
Well, my favorite tradition is actually a new tradition. It's hard to put old traditions to the side, but I have a little cousin, and he created this father-son Thanksgiving football game. So I look forward to doing that every Thanksgiving morning. I'm sore on that Friday, but that Thursday is so much fun, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to be with loved ones.
Perfect.
I don't know if you were a soap opera fan.
Well, I grew up with my mother watching As
stories.
the World Turns and Days of Our Lives.
You were at Marquette. Did you all do General Hospital?
Oh my God, are you kidding? When Luke and Laura got married, you couldn't even get into
the student union.
Into the student union.
It was crazy.
Yes,
man. That was.
Everybody was in front of that TV.
We watched. I'm trying to think of the series Rich Man, Poor Man. Everybody at the mount was watching Rich Man, Poor Man. And at the end, because it was in the spring, all the windows was open. So whenever somebody got killed or something, you could hear all over campus, everybody having the same reaction. Because I don't know how we all started watching. But I know General Hospital was big down at Marquette.
Oh my gosh, it was
2:00.
Everybody was
that
crowded
union
in there.
would be like, why are these people in the union? They're going like, man, General Hospital.
Yep.
Yeah, so when you get one where it can just really, now my grandmama's story, you could not call Anna Mae Smith at 11 o'clock. So between 11 and noon, Young and the Restless.
Young and the Restless, yeah.
And Nikki's still on there.
She is looking good too.
Yeah.
Her and Victor.
Victor Newman is still there?
They're still married. Matter of fact, he just rebuilt their house that was burned down. He just rebuilt it, and they're still together with all their children.
Miss Chandler, the woman who played Miss Chandler, she is, but she actually had breast cancer.
Yeah,
and they dealt with her whole breast cancer as part of the storyline.
So.
Yeah, but yeah, that was.
Now she lived over in Illinois, right?
Yeah, there was some place down in Illinois they were supposed to live. My grandmother, I called one time. She go, honey. Now, my story's on right now. And that was before, you could tape them. So she said, okay, well, Grandma, I'll call you back. Yeah. Then my grandmother was living with us. And I didn't have to go to work until 2. So me and Anna Mae be sitting there watching. And then when I actually got a real job, I would call Anna Mae about 12:10. Grandma, what happened? She said, "Oh, you know what Victor did." I was like, "Oh,
he's still doing it."
But yeah, to get pulled in. But and let me say this: mindless entertainment is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It really
I
is.
like mindless entertainment.
I mean, it gets us away from the ridiculousness sometimes of life. When who was it? Oedipus Rex, and reading that story, and it's called Greek tragedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said it was cathartic. It was cathartic because you would look at that life and think, "Oh man, I thought my
I'm
life
good.
was bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good." That's what Jerry Springer does. I mean, you look at some people and you be going like,
right, like, dang, that's the 7th daddy, and he still ain't the right daddy.
He still ain't the right one.
Right.
I'm like, this is embarrassing.
What?
I don't like to see or acknowledge that people are living that. It shouldn't be. No.
Well, I should laugh at it, but
I'd be like, oh,
well,
no.
some of those shows are made for TV. They're not. They're not based in reality.
Why
but
do
some
we
of
have
them
to
are.
get out? Why do we have to get out and look so bad?
And then everybody got to fight. As soon as you find out he ain't the daddy, then everybody fight.
Well, the great thing I like about it is that it's equal opportunity looking bad. Because the white folks look as bad as the black folks. Yeah. Now, you don't see a lot of Latinos. That you don't see. But, oh, man, black folks, white folks, man, it just be like, I had one dude, this dude must have weighed about 105 pounds. He's supposed to be a player. And he came out in this yellow suit, right?
Uh-huh.
And he had a thick sister and he had a thick white woman. Both those women tore his clothes off. He was sitting there in his drawers.
They probably say
I love when they jump on him like
that's crazy.
It was like, what was the one with Medea when she found out that what's his name wasn't her
right?
Yeah, Medea. Whoa, she just lost it. She was running and screaming. She just knew he was the daddy.
Well, this is real though. My coworker and I, Jatan, we were outside the courthouse. And Jatan was my boss then, right? Mm-hmm. And so this young lady just came from court. Mm-hmm. And she got the DNA results back. She said, "I don't care what they say. He ain't the daddy." Yeah, he the daddy. I know you want that other dude to be the daddy. No, he the daddy. And I know you got some splaining to do.
Right. Oh, I love it when they show the picture and he's like, "I ain't that baby's daddy."
My joke always when I'm dealing with the fathers is, that baby look just like me. Got to be my baby. Go through her phone. I bet you everybody in there look like you. But you bet she got a type. And you going like, is that Keith? Oh, is that? Oh man.
No, that ain't Keith. Show look like him.
Show look like him though. And then there's some guys you be going like, I don't know how you denying that child. I no disrespect, but that is your baby, man. You are the baby's pappy. And even when we talk about that, why that is important is you need to know the bloodline, right?
Oh my gosh, absolutely for a lot of the stuff we talk about. So, and we're finding out more and more a genetic connection with many diseases that before we didn't think there was a genetic connection, but we're starting to see that now. And the beauty of that is then they can look for it earlier. You start having symptoms, they're more likely to look in a certain direction because you have that information.
Right. And because
so
my cousin,
it's important.
She had, I don't know if they found it late, but she had cancer. And she was calling asking were there any incidents on, because her dad is my uncle. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have that we could document. But on her mom's side, there were a lot of medical issues. I think her mom had died from diabetes. So there was some genetic things going on with her already. So it is important a lot of times that And I know a lot of times people, I don't want him involved. Oh, but he's more involved than you realize.
And sometimes there's shame. I mean, I don't know why, but like in our diabetes class, how many people have we had who didn't know their parent was diabetic, even though they were on insulin because they hid it from them? Right. So, they kept their insulin in the bedroom. They did their shots. Their children never knew that they were diabetic because they were so ashamed of it. And now here they are, saying, had I known that, I would have been made.
But isn't that, and I always compliment you too, right? Because, you're very transparent about some of your medical challenges that you had. But that's a tough conversation to have. I mean, because you're really vulnerable now. I mean, you're and then because we black people. So what you do? Nothing.
You
I was born. I was born.
That's good.
I mean, some things I was just born. Now, other things, as we say, is behavior. It was something that might have contributed. Newport 100s contributed to my stroke. Ain't no. Me and my buddy, we call it Black Death, because like in high school you couldn't get me to smoke. I was an athlete. In college, I didn't smoke. I didn't start smoking until I was in the Office of Admissions, and we do road trips. And literally on his dashboard, he'd have 4 packs of Parliaments. And let's see, we drove from Emmitsburg to Richmond. That's about a 2.5 hour drive. He smoked a pack and a half in that 2.5 hours.
Wow.
So I don't know why it started, because like I said, the brothers, they were smoking Salems and Cools. So I don't know. I just started smoking, and it was Benson and Hedges. And I was working at Our Avenue Playground, and it was going like, brother, what you smoking?
Right.
These are Benson and Hedges 100 guys. What? I said, no, try one of these.
Yeah. Aren't those some ladies ones?
It was a Newport. The rest is history. Oh, wow. Lord, man. And when people talk about that addiction, Newports. I know when I quit, I go and get gas. And I said, no, I'm just here to get gas. Because he would just automatically turn around, grab a Newport 100. Like, no.
Well, out of all addictions, smoking is the most difficult one to quit. Oh, it's like even when you're looking at, addictions with illegal substances and that, people can deal with that. They can become sober and stay clean. But cigarettes are the hardest one for people to stop.
And it's you do the therapy, but never forget, man, here's the other thing about great health insurance. My wife worked for Aurora, so we have their system. So when I went in, I mean, the care I got was just incredible. So you meet the chief cardiologist. But let me say this is so weird, but I had to go and get a echocardiogram. I don't know what this woman did. This woman had the most incredible touch. When I was finished, I wanted to stay because she had such a touch. And she's going, you go back to the room now. You sure? I think there's what do you call it? AFib? Did you check for the AFib?
Did you see that? I know there's a little abnormal part of my heart.
It was incredible how she, just some people, I don't know if it's the gift.
Yeah, it's a gift.
It's a gift, but man, I didn't want to get up off the table. And then when you go in for the MRIs and they ask you, are you claustrophobic? Well, it wasn't until you put me up in this tunnel.
First, Julia said she goes to sleep in it. First time I went in one, I was hitting that button within 2 seconds, like, get me out. Nope.
That's why I hate going to St. Kate's.
Oh,
because you're underground. That is
after I had my first MRI, which was traumatic because then they had to medicate me in order for me to have it done. I could not drive under St. Kate's. First time I went under there, I couldn't breathe. I had to find my way to get out.
And
I'm like, I don't care if I got a pop
signal. The deeper you go, and you just going like, whoa.
No,
that is kind of one of those things. I think I'm claustrophobic.
I know I am.
You know, and then you sit up, and this is really morbid. You know, you think about all the ways you could die. You know, some people say fire, right? So 9/11, there were people saying it would better, I'll take my chances jumping
Yeah.
than to deal with fire. People say drowning, right? Yeah. To me, be buried alive.
Oh, that would be horrible.
That is, we were talking about Stephen King last week and Pet Cemetery. I don't know how many times they buried that cat. I don't know if it was cat. That cat kept coming back. It was just like, did we just bury that cat? Yeah, but that's the one. That enclosed space. I think also I have a psychological aversion to clutter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I've been full transparent. I have hoarders in the family. You know, and I don't know if anybody's ever been around a hoarder.
Yep.
That is, talk about some sick, ooh.
Have you ever been stuck on an elevator? Yeah, not fun. To the point that if an elevator is really crowded, I'm not getting on it.
Well, my boss, she doesn't do elevators.
I'd take stairs as much as I can.
Yeah, she did.
But if it's like 50 flights, well, I'm probably gonna have to get on the elevator.
I was on an elevator at this hotel in New York, and it was such a high-speed elevator because I think it was close to 80 floors. Your ears would literally pop because it's moving at this. Yeah, elevators. Elevators are not so bad. I've never been stuck in one. But you can have all these things that'll happen to you. And a lot of times, a lot of our phobias are formed when we're children.
Right. I often think about that. I mean, I lived in a rural area out in with no boundaries. I always wonder, where did that come from for me? And I did not notice it until my son was young. And we were at a carnival and we got on this spaceship ride where the door closed on you. I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
And you know, we act as if when we talk about phobias, but phobias are real. And
they cause real physiological
fear can paralyze you. Sure. Literally. I mean, like
palpitations, irregular heart rates.
That mouse. Did I tell you a story about the mouse?
A mouse?
I was just telling it last week.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know about the mouse.
Yeah, there was a dead mouse. Yeah. But I was tripping. I mean, I tripped so hard. I mean, and I was still smoking then, and I went right out on the porch. I must have smoked about 4 Newports. What I'm gonna do about this mouse? And
it was dead.
It was dead. Well, allegedly.
That was your fear then.
The coroner had not come and pronounced that bad boy dead yet. And
you thought he was playing possum.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And you know, I had a rabbit that got attacked by a cat and died on our porch. And I saw him, and then it got cold, frozen. I wasn't gonna deal with it. So I finally called my buddy, Jackie Zeldon's dad. He had this coal shovel. That was always, anytime you had a rodent, Bobby bring the coal shovel. That's what he gonna do, because he gonna beat that rodent to death, right? And that he was out there, he was going, June, the rabbit is frozen. I don't know that. You see Pet Cemetery?
You know, I had a couple springs ago, I was cleaning out my garage in the spring, and I came across a dead possum.
Ooh.
And I ran down the driveway screaming. Nobody was home. I'm looking around. Help! Nobody's home. So I'm like, I got to get it out. So then I did. I got a shovel, and I just, carried it over and put it in a bag and threw it in the garbage. But it did terrorize me. I was running up and down that driveway screaming.
Excuse me. I'm just not cool with critters, especially dead critters. There's nothing cute about it. And the end of that story was I had to call my boy back to say, you don't have to come, because the man of the house had took care of that. She said, Tell him you a punk. And then she gave me the bag and said, now go throw it away.
And I mean, you better throw it away.
And I mean, you better get it out to the garbage. You better not, and I'm walking out like. So all you brave folks, that's like, you hear guys who were in combat zones, especially guys like in Vietnam, and talk about but you might see a snake, but you can't make any noise because you're going to give away where you are.
Yes.
And so, they're killing. I mean, so I admire people who like being around animals, and I ain't scared. That's what John said, man, I ain't scared of no damn mouse. I'm on my way. And the crazy thing was he's going to have to catch the bus.
I mean, you wouldn't even offer to pick him up.
I was so paralyzed in fear. And then, so I'm trying to get Rodney heads up. Hey, you know that? Got the mouse. I called John. He gonna come by. I called John. She walk up in the house. I mean, she had her pants all up in her armpits. Where the mouse? Where you at? Like, oh Lord.
Was he in a trap or?
No. What happened was, Rhonda was on her smoothie kick. And I'm like this, when I finish something, I rinse it out, but Rhonda doesn't. So he could smell the sweetness, climbed up in the thing and drowned. Couldn't get out. So I'm getting ready to clean up dishes, right? Because I hate clutter. And I pour it out and he hangs right on the lip of the garbage disposal. So if he go in the garbage disposal. Right. So
y'all too much.
He hung on that lip. And I'm sitting on the porch smoking, chain smoking.
I'm not gonna get him out of there.
Look at this mouse. I didn't have any heroin. I would have shot up if I had heroin.
I had a chipmunk in my house once.
Ooh.
And I was sitting. I got up in the morning to take the dogs out, and I had my little coffee in my hand. As I'm walking towards the back door, I'm looking like, okay, mine registered as a chipmunk. But then I kept going. Then I stopped like, okay, they can't hover above ground. So that means he's in my house in between the blinds. He was sitting in between the blinds. And I'm like, oh my God. So
God.
Took me 2 days to catch him. I was able to shut that room off from everything else. Okay. Took me 2 days to catch him, and I knew I caught him because at 1:30 in the morning the dogs were going crazy. So I went out there. It was a live trap, and I said a few things to him and told him never to come back again.
You hear me?
And I took him outside and I released him in the back. Now my little chunky pug, caught 2 chipmunks. And one he killed, one he didn't. He would sit there and study them as they ran, and he would catch them.
Oh yeah, isn't that their nature though?
Yes,
right?
But they're so little, short legs and chunky. It's like, and chipmunks are fast, but he caught 2 of them.
Oh, we've had issues with squirrels, and I'm telling you that. And this last squirrel we had, oh man, that Negro party. We could hear when he come in. You could hear him upstairs, and about 8, 9 o'clock, knocked out. Hear him leaving in the morning. So
gotta go. Gonna go outside and hang out for a while.
Coffee, and he heading out. So they have something called an exit trap, and an exit trap is that because they're gonna go out and do their business. Mm-hmm. Here's the other thing: if you catch a squirrel, if you release them, they say about 20 miles away from, because they will make their way back to the nest. Whatever they have, nest, whatever, they'll make their way back. Because my neighbors next door, they were very progressive in terms of ecology and stuff. Like when they would treat their lawn, they weren't using pesticides, they used natural things. So they catch the squirrels and then release them. They took them to Washington Park. Wow. I said, man, that's a bus transfer ride back for that squirrel, right. And the squirrel would keep coming back. So we finally called the squirrel guy. And he regaled the entire neighborhood with his stories about catching raccoons and catching squirrels. But yeah, once they did it, and then we could hear the squirrel outside mad because she couldn't get back in.
Was there babies in there?
She could have been. I don't know.
Yeah, I had that with my shed too. They had
Like I
gotten
go up
in
there
there
and check to
and
see if
had
her babies were
babies.
up there.
And I was able to get her out and her little naughty babies. But she did come back the next morning. I heard her scratching at the door. I looked outside and she was there, but she had put her babies somewhere else. They weren't with her. But then I did see them because I have a little bit of a wooded area behind my house. I could see them back there.
It's interesting because when we talk about it, those animals are trying to survive too.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a tendency to look at it from a human perspective where they're inconvenienced. How do we, because you're seeing more and more now where deer are becoming, moving more in with populated areas. They're not as frightened when they're coming for food. We're dealing with coyotes. I don't ever remember as a child seeing a coyote.
Right now
but
it's
you
a
see 'em
regular
now.
appearance.
Yeah, you see that sideways walking dog? That's not a dog.
Mm-hmm.
That's a coyote. We thought we're in Panama. It's amazing the number of monkeys.
And they're naughty.
Oh yeah,
The
they'll
number
jump
of-
on you,
They have
slap you,
whole
take your
islands is
stuff.
nothing but monkeys. And so at the complex we were staying at, we noticed that at night they would put out fruit. And at first I said, Rhonda, look at the cat. She said, those are not cats, those are monkeys. So they would do that so they wouldn't come up in the house.
Oh yeah.
Right? They would feed them out there because actually human beings are encroaching in
In their
areas,
territory.
in their
Yeah, we're
territory.
taking their land.
And then that gets us back to how as species we're so connected. This is how we end up getting avian flu, right? That human beings are interacting with species that might have these things. Like we used to tell the kids
Swine
at camp,
flu.
Yep. If you see a raccoon, I know they look cute, but don't corner them.
Mhm.
Because kids didn't know they corner them. Oh,
And
they're so
raccoons
cute.
are
Raccoons,
vicious.
Yeah, once they feel threatened,
They're
they're
vicious.
like,
Mhm.
and it kind of gets back to when you were talking about in terms of wanting to survive, and you're a parent. Like you find females of the species because usually they're going to be responsible for rearing, but be very protective,
Mhm.
which is interesting. Around, have you seen Cocaine Bear?
Mm-mm. I guess I better watch that.
That's mindless. But that idea that not only what happened was that there was a guy, he was smuggling cocaine. He was on a plane. He decided that I need to abandon the plane. So he parachutes into this national forest in Tennessee. So with all this cocaine, the bear happens upon the cocaine. Now in real life, what happened was the bear OD'd on cocaine. And I have to give her credit. The director said, no, why don't we have where the bear is addicted to cocaine?
Mm-hmm.
So this bear goes on dealing with her fix. But then the cubs end up getting addicted to cocaine too. So it was really fascinating, but how protective she was,
Mhm.
of, I don't know what you call them. What cubs are it's not a brood, is it?
I don't know.
So, but you even seen bears that are getting closer. in
Oh,
terms of
sure.
where
Well,
humanity-
I remember it was, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years ago, there was that one off of Burleigh out by me that was it climbed up a tree. And it wasn't a big bear, but it wandered down from somewhere and they had to tranquilize it to get it out of the tree right off of Burleigh and like 100 and something in Burleigh over in there. But yeah, we see now every year you see many of them coming out of the woods and yeah, lots of them. Wow.
Yeah. So that bear, he's a bear. See that bear? When I walked at the lake, I literally saw a red fox.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of foxes
A
around
lot of
me.
foxes, they're feline.
Mhm,
You'd always
I
think
know.
foxes
They
be
look like dogs.
like canine, but they're actually feline in terms. Anyway,
They're beautiful little creatures.
they are. And I think if you get a chance to appreciate nature, when I worked at summer camp, in Japan, they use crickets as an alarm system.
Well, they will wake you up.
But it's
Growing
when they
up in a
stop
rural
chirping,
area.
that means that somebody's in the area. And so if somebody was walking up on the lodge and we could hear the crickets and then we don't hear them, it means somebody was usually near.
Oh my.
Yeah, learn these little things out. when you work at camp. So,
caregivers.
Let's talk about the caregivers.
Yeah.
Especially during the holidays.
Yeah, caregiving is very stressful. It's a lot of work. They said most caregivers are women, and they provide care and work. Some of them are still working outside the home and still providing care. They can become overstressed and not even take care of themselves because they're taking care of others. You have to support them. Other family members have to support them. And I think, and please don't criticize them. Like you should have did this or you should have did that. Whenever
you killed my mom.
What I always tell caregivers is whatever you did it well because you took care, you stepped up and you took the responsibility. And no one can talk about you because they didn't step up to take the full responsibility. But there are things that can make it easier on you. Allow other people to come in
and help you.
Yeah. And give specific jobs and duties for the other people to do and take you some time off so that you can rejuvenate yourself.
Respite.
Yeah. And there are respite places. But Ebenezer is going to be starting a memory cafe in January, the third Thursday in January. Every third Thursday, we're going to open up and have lunch. And people who are caregivers, especially if you're caregiving for someone who have memory issues, you can bring them down to Ebenezer, and together we will spend time with each other to give you a place to go, a place to take your loved one. That's not challenging. We don't have steps. You can come on down and you'll have a nice meal and we'll do fun things together.
Don't forget to remember.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget to remember what I told you.
Please remember what I told you to forget. Yeah.
Oh.
That's a song.
Oh.
Might be your theme song.
I saw this young woman that had a T-shirt on that said, "I'm going to remember your song so I can sing it when you can't."
So when can I sing that song? Would I be, let's see, dead?
No. It was when you can't remember it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was just, when you can't sing, well, I know. I told them Sunday it's better to walk up in this bad boy than to be rolled up in this bad boy. It's better to be sitting in this bad boy than be laying in this bad boy. Okay. So, man, I'm okay.
Yes. But caregiving is very exhausting.
Very much so.
Well,
and it also affects, depending on your relationship to that person. Let's say you're the wife or you're the daughter or whatever. It changes your relationship with them. So
because you're in a position of power.
You're primarily the caregiver, not the spouse. And so that's really hard, especially on both, because now you're operating in a different role. And anybody that's cared for their parents, no, that's rough. Because one, your parents still see you as a child no matter what, and them having to give up themselves to allow you to take care of them is very hard.
Well, and I think I used the word power and how the power dynamic shifts. When I was a kid, my mom had all the power, and then as she becomes older, less stable to do things, now I have power. You remember when I was 8? Yeah, I ain't 8 now. What is it that a woman could raise? One woman can raise 10 kids, right? You can't find one kid
to take care.
Yep.
That's sad.
We see that a lot. Or there is that one that does all the work. And that's very hard.
Yeah. You and people, oh, you do this for your mother? What?
Why wouldn't
Why
you?
wouldn't I?
Yeah,
Of course, there's some issues I had with her when we were young, but no. I mean that was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I hear people say that, well, that's a lot of work, or, that gets old after a while. It's like,
changing your dirty diapers wasn't a lot of work and didn't get old.
And the fact that at least personally for me, and I think most people, when they're gone, you never regret that you were there for them and that you looked out for them. But feeling like it's an impingement on your life, like, yeah, it's stressful, it's hard.
I love that word.
But,
I love that word.
What,
impingement. That's a beautiful. Yeah. No, really. No.
Yeah. But it is a struggle, but it's a beautiful thing to be able to be there for your parents.
But some people aren't easy to take care of. Got to be honest.
I apologize to my son all the time now. I just want to get the apologies out.
Oh, okay. Just
before I
I'm real clown.
I said, I'm just apologizing now.
Why?
So.
Oh, you'll see. Oh, you'll definitely see. Well, that's interesting. We talk about caregivers because we talk about like women, older women, and where older men might have someone, spouse or someone to take care of them. Older women may or may not.
Right. Often they don't.
And what if you never married, or
right.
you didn't have children?
Right.
There are a lot of people
We
caring
didn't have kids
for.
who's going to take care of us.
That baby you got.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You have that you spend so much time with. That.
Matter of fact, I got to pick Kennedy up from school today.
Yeah, Kennedy will be there.
Because you going, damn.
I was just going to say, she going to remind you of that.
It's crazy. I didn't realize, I don't know if this was like when you were a kid, you wanted to take, get those baby teeth out. Oh my gosh. She's like a dentist.
She pulling them?
She pulling them, and you looking at her now, she just like all those gaps. I said, God, I'm so glad you didn't have your picture day.
Every child's got a picture with teeth missing.
Oh, not me. My mom said, do not smile. Look like a mugshot. My second grade mugshot. You're inside, be healthy, be you. Miss Julie Means, Miss Brenda Buchanan. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. It looked like
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Zeladon. I'm with the Milwaukee County Office of Equity, and I'm here today at 860 AM WNOV.
So, Jackie, how do you show appreciation to your loved ones during the holidays?
Oh, the holidays. I show appreciation all the time, but during the holidays, I like to give them that extra love. And that extra love takes the form of, inviting family over for game night. It's giving people phone calls, especially people I haven't spoken to for in a minute. Shame on me. It's also sending greeting cards. It's even doing small gestures such as cookies. Or even taking somebody to the movie. So those are some of the ways I show extra gratitude during the holidays.
That's perfect.
Hello, my name is Derek Rogers from the Exodus Academy and the Milwaukee Black Liberation Theology Project.
So, Mr. Rogers, what's one way you've learned to love yourself more in 2024?
Definitely with the help of my wife, paying more attention to my diet.
How y'all doing? I'm Nisha with Wisconsin Voices and Black Men Build.
So, how do you show appreciation to your loved ones during the holiday season?
I show appreciation to my loved ones during the holiday season, especially to my mom by giving her gifts. my mom, she took care of me great, like while I was growing up. So I just try to give back to her whatever she needs. Like, so I just ask her like what she want. If she don't really know what she want, I still get her something. It might be money, it might be some jewelry, but I make sure I just give back and make sure that she, that she good. Whatever she needs, she took care of.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Dr. Bridget Moss. I am a board-certified family practice and integrative medicine specialist. I'm standing here at WNOV.
So, Dr. Bridget, how does gratitude
plays a huge role in my holiday celebrations? Because you know what? Without God, I would not be here. So that is what I'm most grateful for, and everything else will follow.
Perfect.
Hey, this is Dr. Kwaku. I'm OIC here at WNOV 860 AM representing Nayumba Upendo Show.
So, Dr. Kwaku, what's your favorite holiday tradition that you're thankful for?
Well, my favorite tradition is actually a new tradition. It's hard to put old traditions to the side, but I have a little cousin, and he created this father-son Thanksgiving football game. So I look forward to doing that every Thanksgiving morning. I'm sore on that Friday, but that Thursday is so much fun, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to be with loved ones.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Dr. Alicia Mutri. I'm here at WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 AM, and I'm representing Nayumba Upendo, the House of Love.
So, Dr. Alicia, what's one thing you're grateful for and that often gets overlooked?
You know what? On a regular basis, I'm grateful for my sight. I know there are people in the world that can't see. I'm also grateful for my limbs and my body. I can move them freely and how I want to be able to move them. So all of my senses I'm able to use, and I don't take them for granted.
Facts.
Hi, I'm Dee Kemp, Vice President of Programs from Axe Housing, and I'm here at WNOV.
So, Ms. Kemp, what are you most excited about for New Year?
I am most excited about creating more homeowners in 2025. I need my kings and queens to own things. So come to Axe Housing. Let's get you ready for home ownership in 2025.
Perfect.
Dogs. I always thought they were cats. Okay, they are pretty little critters.
Canine, they are.
God. All right.
I thought that they were dogs as well.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big tails.
With big bushy tails. Man, they're found in North America, Europe, Asia, and parts of North Africa.
They aren't typically kept as pets, though, correct?
No.
No, they're not.
No.
Too aggressive?
Yeah. Well, I think
there have been some, but it's not the norm.
Yeah. It's it's interesting that human beings even keep dogs as pets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they've been domesticated over the years. Now they wouldn't know how to survive in their instincts in the wild.
The funny thing is, like, why did the dog attack you? It's in their nature. It's like what was the tiger that attacked the guy down
in Vegas?
Down in Vegas.
Yeah.
And they said what she did, she just reverted back to her nature. You can domesticate them, but their nature is
he
nature.
pissed her off.
That's
right?
Good.
Her. Did you catch that? The opposite word was her.
She was like, "Look, I ain't playing with you anymore. Trying to make me do this and that. I'm tired.
Where's my grits and grease?
What was their name?
Oh God, what was their Penn and Teller was what was their name?
Remember
Siegfried and Roy.
That's it.
Siegfried and Roy.
Siegfried and Roy. Yep.
Now you got me watching the phone and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
We understand a caller has been trying to come in.
Been trying to call.
And
So the phone
call
line's
back.
open. And we're looking now for the call. 414-444-5250.
We just all watch the phone. Don't say
we're
anything.
watching.
Right. It's going to be silence right now while we look.
Crickets.
Yeah,
You
crickets.
you call for crickets?
Crickets. Here we go. So again, you're doing this whole thing for
Memory Cafe.
Memory Cafe for caregivers so that they can have some socialization too, because they feel so isolated because they have to spend all their time with their loved one. And we do work with Department of Aging, and they always talk about making sure you get the legal information correct, because you want to be able to take care of their business legally and be able to represent them with the physicians and with their finances. There's a call.
Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Keith, you're kind of a difficult person to get in contact with.
Oh, we apologize for that.
That's no problem. You were talking about depression and everything else like that. I think you're right about that. And I had a cousin who was depressed, and he would never admit to being depressed too. And he wound up having and the first thing is a therapist. I told him to go see a therapist. He said, the first thing that came out of his mouth was, "I am not crazy. Black folks don't see therapists." I said, "Well, it doesn't mean you're crazy. This means you're a human being struggling with issues." No.
Well, depression can be physical too. You could be not having enough serotonin, and that can cause some. You can physiologically have a reason for being depressed.
Is that why we see that?
Chemical imbalance.
Is that why we see that when the seasons change, per se, when the days get shorter and things of that nature? Because a lot of people get depressed as soon as
they're not getting enough vitamin D, sunlight.
You think it's a trigger? Can it be a trigger?
It can be.
Well, and when it starts getting darker, of course, we're coming into the holiday period too, which is a very, very stressful period of time for many people.
And come home in the
Right.
dark, and so the first thing you need to do is to make sure that you're not physiologically dealing with something that can cause the depression. And then once you're cleared with that, then you go to the psychological. And it could be just a matter of taking some vitamins and
certainly
and-
your thyroid can do that.
Yeah.
Vitamin D thing,
and heart. A lot of heart
Yes.
issues can cause you to deal with depression. So you have to make sure. That's why you're telling your loved one to seek medical help is wise, because they can draw some labs and do an assessment of you and say, "Oh, this could be the cause of your depression," and and you may not even have to go see the psychiatrist, but if you go through everything and medically you're A-okay, then you may need to go see a psychiatrist who could prescribe some medications that can help your imbalance become balanced.
And
I
sometimes
just want to say one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was just when I mentioned that to him, he didn't want to go. Then eventually he went, and he said he felt a little better, and he felt a lot better. And that, like I said, that doesn't mean they're crazy and stuff like that. And somebody was mentioning something. It's the reason somebody was saying all these. When you hear about all these black and black crime situations, it could be it's a lot of people have been told to hide their feelings, and they're black men, and so they got to come out some way. Somebody was saying that's why they're shooting people and things like that. Could they be part of it too? A lot of the violence we find in some of our inner cities.
A lot of people are dealing with untreated mental health issues
mental
that can
issues.
cause them to be very aggressive.
But what about anger?
And angry.
Sure.
Yeah.
And lead too, lead poisoning can, studies show over time that can cause more aggression in people. So there's just a lot of things, but the bottom line is you won't know any of that unless you seek treatment.
Well, what about the idea, though? I think he mentioned something in terms of when he said Black people don't see therapy.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of needing to get help and why that's difficult for some folks. And a lot of times there's the stigma attached around mental health issues.
Definitely. And, and your primary doctor often can treat you too with simple like depression and things like that. But, I was working with somebody who recently whose family was very against them seeking help or taking medication. And I told them that they don't have to know. How did they know? You don't have to tell them you're taking medication. If it works for you or if you're getting treatment, nobody needs to know that but you.
Very private.
Right.
They don't disclose any of that information. So
Well, I think that is because anytime I think there's a chink in the armor, we don't want that. Again, I used the word earlier, being that vulnerable. But pride preceded a fall too.
Correct. And churches really need to have people who understand mental health issues because a lot of people come to churches with mental health issues, looking
for help,
and not realize but a lot of times because their thought process is off, they don't really believe that they have mental health issues. So
but you got to feel like there's something wrong, and I'm gonna use this term off. I think you kind of.
No,
but they're not thinking like that. They're thinking they may be anger. Like I'm working with a young lady who she goes off the handle real quick, and she'll be the first to tell you that for years she just thought that's just how she was. She can go from 0 to 100 like that. And then she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and she took her meds sometimes she didn't. But now she's realized that she's a much better person, and she still has to struggle with going from 0 to 100, but the meds help her a lot. But it took years for her to get there. And in many families, they don't support you in that, so
because
it's
maybe
really
they're
hard.
fearful that it's an indication of where they are.
Or weakness or lack of faith, lots of reasons people say they don't want to be treated.
I really feel for family members who are living with loved ones that are dealing with mental health issues because they want what's best for them and they want them to take their meds. They want them to live a good life. And a lot of times they don't, and things happen to them, and tragic things happen to them, and you wanted to prevent this all their lives, and then it happens, and I just feel so sorry for families that get that call. I think about that man that was on the in New York that young man choked him. Yeah, that subway. They because they could be acting out or acting erratic, and other people don't know how to de-escalate, and then something happened to them, and the poor family who have all their lives been trying their best to take care of these their loved ones, and then something tragic happens to them, and I feel sorry for them. But Keith, as you say, you love all your Black people. How you say that?
I love all Black people all over the world.
Because this one guy I was talking, he's talking to me. He was talking about his significant other, and he said, "You know, she a polar bear." And I'm like, "A polar bear? What you talking about? What you talking about?" He was trying to tell me she was bipolar.
She's a polar bear. Well, that it seems less intense as a polar bear.
So how would you treat that, Doc?
And he was talking to me with this straight face. And I was like, okay.
I knew there was something wrong.
I knew something was wrong.
Huh?
One last question I want to ask you.
Yeah, because you're calling from Colorado, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. See,
I want to ask you one last question. Are you seeing more and more, are people being diagnosed better, or because are people being more and more people getting it? I mean, they're having emotional issues, or are they being diagnosed better? I don't remember people when I was 10, 15, 20 years ago. I don't remember hearing that much among blacks, but now I'm starting to hear a lot more about people having emotional issues or trauma or something like that.
Well, we used to lock people up, and we had mental health hospitals and places that locked people up.
Has it been worse since Scott Walker did away with the mental health complex, basically? And all of those dollars that were being...
I think the whole community, that was something that was beyond Scott Walker, I think in the 70s.
Yeah, late 70s, early 80s.
Deinstitutionalizing folks, and they got into community care.
He said it right.
Right, that's when things changed significantly in this country with mental health.
And you, but it's interesting, you said earlier that we didn't do it. And I just thought about two people in my life in the 80s that I knew, appreciate you, that I knew committed suicide. And when this one particular person, I would have never known.
Okay.
You know, they were suffering in silence. Caller, welcome to the program.
Man, I done held on so long, I done forgot the joke.
Oh,
dude, well, because we was looking looking for you at 9:05.
I was holding on so long, I forgot the joke.
You didn't hold on this morning.
All right, let's go, man. We got a few minutes. What you got?
All right. It was this lady. Since we got the medical people in, it was this lady. She had a heart attack. So she was laying in the hospital. So she talked to God. She said, God, is this my time to go? So God said, no, you got 40 more years. So while she was in the hospital, she had a facelift, a tummy tuck, got her boobs done, got her butt injections. So when she got discharged from the hospital, she was walking across the street. A truck hit her and killed her. So when she got to heaven, she asked God, she said, God, I thought you said I had 40 more years to live. God looked at her and said, oh, I didn't recognize you.
I knew that's where that was going.
That is a good
one.
He gets a round of applause.
I'm going back to the lab.
All righty.
3 and 2 now.
Yeah, man, you over 500. All right, man. He got a winning record. All right. That's that we get a joke of the day.
That laughter is very healing.
And the funny thing was, the first one he told, I didn't get, right?
No, nobody got it.
Nobody got it. People were sending me text, man. Okay, here's how it goes. Let's get this last caller. Hey, you all join us next week. Well, you join us all the time, but join us next week. It'll be our last program of the year.
Yeah.
And so we should have some fun next week.
Yes.
Not that we don't always have fun.
We do, but we should share our fun.
Right. We're going to share it. All right, caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You were speaking of mental health. Do you have anyone that can contact someone if a person is mentally ill and refuses help? Or like in the cold now, the person don't know where their parent is?
Ooh, that is very difficult. You know, they have on television all the time the critical missing. That's one way you can report them as being missing, and the news will pick that up and put their picture out there, and have you have the community to help you, because it is cold, and a lot of times we do people do walk off and not necessarily wearing the right clothes and stuff. So I would start by calling the non-emergent police department.
Or you can also call 988.
That has happened already.
And
have you called 988?
Okay.
Yeah, 988 is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline for free and confidential support. And I'm sure, people dealing with a mental health crisis. 988.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, they can get that out on the air so that.
But nowhere with the county, huh?
Well, I think that is.
It is. It goes to like a 211 type of bank that's specifically for mental health issues.
And I think that the other piece of it is that unless that person is an immediate danger to themselves and others, it's
There's
a little bit
nothing you
tough.
can do.
Right, it's a little bit tough.
But have they been missing for a while?
Yes. And before you leave, one more quick question. Are you the lady with the smashed turkey recipe?
Oh, yeah, that my son does?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you just split it open and lay it out flat and season it however you would, and you just smoke it or put it on the grill, or you can even put it in the oven and cook it on, low like you would a regular turkey.
That's just some people actually listen to this program.
Yeah, you just you got to have a good knife to slice it open and lay it out flat.
Hope you find your loved one.
Be healthy, be you. Julia Means, Brenda Buchanan, Ascension, Wisconsin. Callers, we thank you. Carvey, thank you. Debo, thank you. For everyone, the good Lord willing, Creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.